What's poppin', everyone? It's Scout Eveleth, your local realtor, and today we are going to be talking about the 5 worst mistakes to avoid when buying a home here in the Villages. In today's video, we will be covering the most common mistakes people make when buying a home, why these mistakes can be so detrimental for you, and what you can do to avoid these mistakes the next time you plan to buy. So if you're thinking about buying, selling, or just wanting to stay up to date on everything that's happening here, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Also, check out my new website, scoutthevillages.com, for the best way to find a home in the Villages, linked at the top of the video description down below. Thank you so much, and let's get right into it. Now, the allure of the Villages has caught your attention, and whether it's through a friend's recommendation, something you saw online, or an experience you had in person, now it's on your radar. Thinking about sunny days, enjoying your favorite outdoor activities, evenings filled with live music in the town square, and a vibrant community of active adults, it sounds like paradise. But before you trade in your snow boots for flip-flops, here are the most common and costly mistakes that can turn your retirement experience into a financial or lifestyle disappointment. So starting off with mistake number 1, it's not understanding the full financial picture. Now, falling in love with a cozy villa is easy, but imagine learning about unexpected and hidden costs after you've already closed on your new home when it's too late for anything else to be done. Most buyers focus on the price of a home, possible mortgage payment, and sometimes the property taxes. But this is a surefire way to set yourself up for a big shock once you move into your new home. The first and easily one of the most important things to be aware of is the bond balance. Now, every home in the Villages had a bond attached to it whenever it was built, and this bond was to help finance the community's infrastructure and covered everything from building roads and recreational centers to installing and providing utilities. So, whether you purchase a new construction home or a resale home, make sure you or your agent determine whether the bond has been paid or if you'll be assuming the remaining bond balance. Because sometimes this amount can be a lot more than you would expect. Depending on the balance, the bond can easily add anywhere from thousands to tens of thousands of dollars to your cost of ownership over the time that you occupy the home. Think of it like inheriting a surprise debt instead of getting a welcome gift on your new home. So remember to always ask your agent to verify the bond amount before you decide to make an offer. Now, some homes no longer have a bond, and that's because the bond has already been paid off. But this is not the case for about 90% of homes, so if your home does have a bond, then you will need to make the required yearly payment until the full balance has been paid. But now that you have a better understanding about the bond, we also need to talk about the remaining CDD fees and monthly amenity fees. These additional expenses are just as significant and will usually add up to be more than the cost of the bond throughout the year. So make sure you understand them and don't underestimate these costs. Now, the CDD or Community Development District fees are broken up into 3 separate parts that get paid annually with your property taxes. These 3 CDD charges are the fire assessment, community maintenance, and bond payment, which we've already covered. The fire assessment covers the cost of fire and EMS services here in the Villages, while the maintenance fee covers the upkeep and repair of the common areas as well as the community amenities. However, be sure to keep in mind that this does not cover individual property maintenance, as that will be on the responsibility of the homeowner. And collectively, these fees help pay for the upkeep of the common areas, providing well-kept landscaping, clean and enjoyable amenities, and regular community watch services. Additionally, there is an amenity fee that gets paid monthly, giving you access to all the recreational centers and social clubs the Villages has to offer. These activities include things like their world-class golf courses, state-of-the-art swimming pools, pickleball courts, and everything in between. But don't forget about all your standard utilities, so be sure to factor those in, which is going to be things like your water, electricity, and sometimes gas will be part of your regular monthly expenses. Make sure you have a thorough and well thought out budget of what all you expect to spend, and learn about all the hidden cost of homeownership here before deciding to make that big purchase. So now let's move into mistake number 2, which is going to be overlooking lot size in the HOA regulations. Now, don't let these restrictive regulations and the unexpected limitations spoil your enjoyment of your new home. The lot size and orientation can leave you with limited room to grow or options for customizations. Understanding a home's placement on the property is very important in determining whether there are restrictions for future expansion. For example, are you dreaming of adding a private pool or a flourishing garden to your new home? Well, make sure that this home and the property can accommodate your future plans and goals. Be sure to always check the setback requirements, easements, and deed restrictions before committing to a purchase on a particular home in the Villages. Since the Villages is a deed-restricted community, it does have specific regulations pertaining to exterior modifications, parking, and even the type of decorations that are permitted. Be sure to thoroughly review the restrictions and covenants to avoid any unwanted surprises as part of your new housewarming gift. The bottom line is to make sure you understand the lot size, orientation, and regulations before you decide to make the purchase. The last thing you want is to be caught off guard by restrictions that prevent you from customizing your new home the way that you planned. And this brings us to mistake number 3, which is overlooking future needs and not planning enough for the long game. The Villages takes pride in its exceptional healthcare facilities, but accessibility does vary across each of the different neighborhoods. While you may be an avid pickleball enthusiast today, it's important to anticipate and prepare for your future needs and how these things may change over time. Living close to a quality healthcare facility isn't just about convenience, it should be looked at as a necessity rather than a luxury. Certain neighborhoods and areas in the Villages are situated farther from these major medical centers, so be sure to keep this in mind when looking for homes. If you require frequent medical appointments or specialized care, proximity to these healthcare facilities becomes more important than ever. Imagine needing medical attention and being a fair distance away from getting the proper treatment. This is definitely not the ideal circumstance. So be sure to ask questions and review a map to better understand the distance between homes that you are considering purchasing and your preferred doctors or medical treatment centers. Another helpful tip would be incorporating design elements that cater to your future accessibility. Many buyers inadvertently overlook the importance of future-proofing their home, which is an investment in both independence and long-term comfort. Having wider doorways and a walk-in shower may seem like minor features, but these can significantly enhance your comfort and independence as you age. Stepless entries can also mitigate the risk of falls and allow for easier movement in and around your home. Above all, carefully evaluate both your current and future healthcare needs and keep in mind that future accessibility needs may change when deciding on a new home and place to live. And that brings us to number 4, which is not fully understanding the area before you decide to buy. The Villages isn't made up of a few small neighborhoods or subdivisions, it's the largest retirement community in the world. That means it's a massive collection of neighborhoods, each with distinct features and characteristics that make it unique. Think about it like an ice cream shop with dozens of different flavors. The best way to figure out which ones you like and which ones you don't would be to try more than one to find your favorite. With new versus pre-owned homes, there is a contrast in style, design features, location, bond balances, and the list goes on. Pre-owned homes in more developed areas have mature landscaping and existing amenities, while new construction may still be undergoing development and with newer, less developed landscaping. A quick tip is to visit potential neighborhoods at different times of day to get a better idea of what it would be like to actually live there. And speaking of location, some homes will offer much more convenience with a bit of privacy, while others offer different features and vice versa. Homes may be situated a short distance to the local town square, while others require a longer and less optimal commute. But be sure to think about questions like the following. How much do you value having personal privacy? How often do you think you'll visit the local town square? And what are your must-have versus nice-to-have features in a home? For example, proximity to a bustling town square can translate to more noise from nightly musical performances and increased traffic volume. A lively atmosphere can be enjoyable, but not if it disrupts your evenings as you try to relax and unwind. Exploring a variety of neighborhoods is the best way to determine the ideal match for your lifestyle and your personal preferences. So don't settle for the first neighborhood you encounter. Be sure to explore everything the Villages has to offer. And lastly, this brings us to mistake number 5, which is rushing the decision when patience truly pays dividends. It's tempting to get swept up in the excitement of making a hasty decision, but purchasing a home is the biggest financial and lifestyle commitment a person can make, and a decision like that warrants careful thought and deliberation. I always recommend coming for a test drive to experience the lifestyle firsthand. Devote time to visiting, renting, or even staying for an extended period of time. Treat it like a trial run before signing up for the full experience. And resist the urge to buy on the first visit, at least until you're able to make it back home. The countless neighborhoods, homes, and amenities can sometimes feel overwhelming and cloud your mind as you try to make a rational decision. For some people, this can make it tempting to just jump at the first opportunity that presents itself. Be sure to resist this urge and allow yourself the time to explore and take in the different parts of the Villages while you reflect on which areas and features you like the most. Practice patience, go through the experience multiple times if you need, so that way you can make the best decision possible when the time comes. A little patience here can prevent a world of regret down the road. And lastly, I did throw in a bonus tip for you, which is failing to consider homes outside of the Villages. Now, I know that this is not for everyone, but exploring alternatives beyond the Villages can sometimes be a great way to really make sure you're getting the most of what you pay for. Some neighboring communities have comparable benefits at much more affordable prices depending on what you value. Homes in communities located just a short distance outside the Villages are often significantly more affordable if you're concerned about the cost as you plan to retire. There are plenty of hidden gems in and around town. This would be areas such as Bellevue, Mount Dora, Leesburg, and Ocala. These areas can sometimes have comparable amenities at lower prices with fewer constraints overall. You might discover a hidden gem that perfectly aligns with your budget and retirement lifestyle. Always compare home prices in the Villages with those in nearby areas to ensure that you're maximizing on the value of the home that you get. A little open-mindedness here and extra home shopping can yield significant savings if this ends up being a good decision for you. So don't limit yourself to just the Villages, explore the surrounding areas and see what the wider region has to offer. By diligently avoiding all of these common pitfalls, you'll be well prepared to find your perfect home in and around the Villages and fully embrace everything that this area has to offer. So with that said, I hope you found this video helpful or enjoyable. If you did, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. As always, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought about today's video. I'd really appreciate your feedback, and thank you all so much for watching, and until next time.